Todos ganan en el Mystery Sale de JCPenney. Apresúrate a la tienda de jueves a domingo para la entrega de cupones dorados mientras duren. Podrías ahorrar 30, 40 o hasta 50% extra. Y si eres súper suertudo, podrías obtener la oferta Jackpot y ahorrar $60 en tu compra de 60 o más. JCPenney. Vale la pena. Entrega de cupones solo en la tienda para mayores de 18 años. Cupón válido del 1 al 4 de agosto en selección de estilos. Aplican exclusiones. Detalles en la tienda.
I almost didn't make it, I almost didn't last. Why does the week go by so slow, the weekend so fast? But luckily the day's come to take my cares away. It's not Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, that's right, it's Friday, Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday, Friday. Today I know the weekend. So I'll get out of bed and be to work on time. I'll give this day to the company, the next 2 days of mine. And when my day's over and the final work hour's passed, I'll go home, have a shot of Cuero to the boss who can kiss my Friday, Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday, Friday. Today I know the weekends. Friday, Friday.
Yeah! It's Friday, bitches. Enjoy yourselves. Show. We got a show to go to. Busy weekend. Lots going on. Obviously going to be hot. It's going to be steamy.
Today, for sure.
But we got a show.
Better, though.
No, 90.
Well, today, but...
90 tomorrow, too. Next week, however, it looks like temps drop down into the 70s. Way more manageable next week.
Which is great. I was thinking about opening up my windows because it's been at least a couple weeks, and I'm sick of it.
We've got Sum 41 and Everlast in a couple of minutes. Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. Doc's going to join us to talk racing later on. A Friday edition of Bad News, Happy Music. We'll, of course, recap all the Olympic stuff from yesterday. And we'll look ahead to tomorrow night where Bush, Jerry Cantrell, Candlebox, and Tim Montana will be in town for a big show at Copeland Park and Event Center. Go to CopelandEvents.com to buy tickets and for more info. And if you have any other questions, you can certainly get in touch with us by going to rockmornings.com.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom for our first three-way of the morning. What's happening?
3 newly freed Americans are back on U.S. soil after a landmark prisoner exchange with Russia. Journalist Evan Gershkovich, corporate security executive Paul Whelan, and Alsu Kermasheva, a journalist with dual U.S.-Russia citizenship, arrived at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland shortly before midnight yesterday for a joyful reunion with their families. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were also there to greet them. The 3 Americans were part of the biggest U.S.-Russian prisoner swap in post-Soviet history. They say the multinational deal has set 24 people free in all. The trade follows years of back-channel negotiations despite relations between Washington and Moscow being at their lowest point since the Cold War. A lacrosse man accused of fatally stabbing his wife more than 50 times will be scheduled for trial. Zachary Fritz was arrested in June for the beating and stabbing death of his wife at their lacrosse home. Yesterday, sheriff's investigator Fritz Leinfelder testified at a court hearing that the victim was stabbed multiple times with a sharp object around the head and neck, and that Zachary Fritz had trouble recalling what had happened. Fritz pleads not guilty to 1 count of first-degree murder. Judge Elliot Levine scheduled another hearing in the case for November. Much of La Crosse's Valley View Mall has been shut down to deal with a maintenance issue. Signs announcing the closing of the main mall for maintenance were posted yesterday morning with a message for visitors to check Facebook to learn when the mall could reopen.
Did they hit a gas main or something like that while they were digging up some of the stores?
Nature of the maintenance issue. But JCPenney, the Barnes & Noble bookstore, and the Hy-Vee supermarket were all still open for business, but the rest of the mall, at least so far, remains closed today. This week, by the way, marks 44 years since Valley View opened along Highway 16. Another romp for Summer McIntosh, a gold medal for Kate Douglas, and to cap things off, a record-breaking night for Katie Ledecky with a silver in the 4x200-meter freestyle relay. Ledecky collected the 13th medal of her stellar career to become the most decorated woman in swimming history. She would have preferred it to be gold, but that went to an Australian squad. Still, in her next-to-last event of these games, Ledecky broke a mark she shared with fellow Americans Dara Torres, Natalie Coughlin, and Jenny Thompson. The 27-year-old now has 8 golds, 4 silvers, and 1 bronze over 4 Olympics, with every intention of going on to compete in Los Angeles in 2028.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Wow.
What can she do?
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. And again, a reminder that tomorrow night's show is at Copeland Park and Event Center. Looks like it's going to be beautiful, hot, but beautiful in terms of weather. sunshine, and then cooling off down to about 67 during the overnight tomorrow. So obviously, remember that if you're headed to Copeland Park tomorrow night to see Bush, Candlebox, Jerry Cantrell, and Tim Montana. It's going to be hot. Stay hydrated, be responsible, wear a hat, all those things, sunglasses, maybe some suntan lotion or sunscreen. And be ready. But Ultra Rock Summer Concert Series Part Number 2 at Copeland Park and Event Center tomorrow night, Shaw. It's going to be awesome.
I know you're ready.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Got some clouds this morning. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm on Sunday.
There is only a 20% chance of showers on Sunday.
Cooling off a lot.
And then all of a sudden next week, bam, we're back down into the 70s. Mm-hmm. Is that all week next week, too?
From what I can see, yeah, mid-70s for a high.
Very comfortable. Very comfortable. We'll get back to Shaw for more three-ways and bad news, happy music. As I mentioned earlier, Doc will join us to talk racing in a bit as well. Right now, it's Sum 41.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is, of course, Everlast with What It's Like. What It's Like is USA winning all the golds. Way up to second place now in the gold medal count, thanks to the usual suspects.
Long road from Tokyo to Paris, leading Biles to this moment and do what she does better than anyone ever has. That should do it. She knows it. There it is! Vulnerable in Tokyo and victorious here in Paris. Simone Biles wins the gold. That's what greatness looks like.
Simone Biles winning the women's all-around gymnastics final. Suni Lee took bronze. Simone is the first American gymnast to win it more than once and the first ever to win two of them non-consecutively. Her last gold in the all-around came in 2016. She now has 9 Olympic medals. 6 of them are gold. Over in the pool, American Katie Douglas won her first gold in the 200-meter breaststroke.
The American, Kate Douglas in lane 4, trying to hold off Smith. It's coming down to the final couple of strokes, but Kate Douglas is going to win the Olympic gold for the U.S. Woo! And Douglas gets that first Olympic gold.
Also in the pool, Reagan Smith won silver in the 200-meter butterfly. And as we heard from Shaw earlier, Katie Ledecky got the 13th medal of her career with a silver in the 4x200-meter freestyle relay. She is now the most decorated U.S. female Olympian of all time. And she's going to do it again in L.A.
She needs a plane just to bring home her medals.
Yeah.
Separate plane.
Team USA also got a gold medal in rowing.
Team USA is leading the way. They are closest to the finish line, and the men's 4 delivers gold. Nick Mead, Justin Best, Michael Grady, Liam Corrigan, realizing right now they were the very best.
We watched a bunch of rowing last night as we were checking out some of the Olympic highlights. It's crazy to watch those guys in the unit. It's just like...
Yeah. I saw the American female athlete, sorry, I can't remember her name right now, that got the bronze in the well, not rowing, but I don't know what it was, whitewater rapid kind of canoeing thing.
The slalom?
With the poles.
Yeah, they call it slalom.
Yeah.
It's, the kayak, right?
Yes.
Pretty wild stuff.
Wow, that is some wild stuff.
Team USA also won gold for the first time ever in fencing with a win in women's foil. So congratulations to them. Through day 6, the U.S. led with 37 total medals, followed by France with 27. China's got 24, Great Britain 20, and Australia 18. We also jumped from 7th to 2nd in gold medal count. China is still leading with 11, but now we've got 9, 8 each for France, Australia, and Japan. So a very successful day for the U.S. Did you see that picture of Katie Ledecky? They had to pan out because she was so far ahead of her competitors the other day that they couldn't see any of them in the screen. Like, she was that far ahead.
Like she was the only one in the pool.
Well, when she touched the wall, the picture from above, there's not another swimmer in the picture, in the frame. That's how far ahead she was. That's impressive stuff. Of course, the Olympics are the big thing right now in the world with sports, but there are other things happening, including NFL preseason. Last night, Bears and Texans. The Bears over the Texans with a 21-17 final score. The game was stopped with 3 minutes and 31 seconds left in the third quarter because of weather, and then it was called after a 36-minute delay. So they didn't get the full game in, but who really cares? It's the preseason opener, the Hall of Fame game. Packers, by the way, begin their preseason next Saturday at the Browns at 3:25. The Brewers were off yesterday. They're at Washington tonight at 5:45 for the first of three against the Nationals. Angels center fielder Mike Trout suffering another meniscus tear in his surgically repaired left knee will be out for the rest of the season. And Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert diagnosed with plantar fascia injury in his right foot after Wednesday's practice. It'll put him in a walking boot for a couple of weeks. They say that he should be ready to begin the season when it starts shortly after September 1st. So there you go. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get back to Shaw in just a couple of minutes. If you need something, get in touch with us, rockmornings.com. Tim wanted to hear some Iron Maiden. Corbin wanted to hear some Papa Roach. We'll try to get to both of those.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Oh, you know who you are. You've been doing your daily action, putting lots of overtime. You need some time off satisfaction. Just think how tough it's been. You've been putting out all that labor. If you use your wit, you can get out quick and do yourself a favor. Friday in effect, and you're pretty beat, I bet. It's been one tough week, you've hit your peak, and you've earned your paycheck. But now this week is over, and it's a little fun you're seeking. Your grin is wide, and I know why. Look out, here come the weekend. You know what I'm saying? That weekend's gonna be a monster, y'all.
Yes, the weekend is finally here, and it is going to be a monster. Got a lot of stuff going on, Shaw. Going to be busy. Running here, running there, running everywhere. And hopefully my dog doesn't have diarrhea all over the place again.
Ugh.
Yeah, big old diarrhea situation yesterday. The entire kennel. Yeah. So, needless to say, dealt with that yesterday afternoon. New food, some meds. Took her to the vet. Hopefully everything will be all right. Hopefully we don't have another incident this weekend. But, yeah.
Don't need that with all the rest of the stuff you got going on.
No. Not going to be in the house very often. That's the problem, right? Not going to be there to kind of keep an eye on things. At least not over the next couple of days. Of course, today, tomorrow, and Sunday on Peacock, the Olympic highlights with Kevin Hart and Keenan Thompson continue. Now, tonight on NBC, primetime Olympic coverage includes men's synchronized springboard diving.
Those are fun to watch.
The women's 100-meter track and field race, so we start running.
Finally get some track and field.
The women's 200-meter backstroke and swimming, and the men's 50-meter freestyle. Also on Netflix today.
Are you ready, kids?
Oh, is that today?
I can't hear you. Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Yes, Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. Hits Netflix today if you want to check that out. SpongeBob film.
Always good time.
Also on Hulu today, the streaming premiere of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Tomorrow night on NBC, primetime Olympic coverage includes the men's shot put final. Our guy, Ryan Krauser.
Doing his thing.
Men's 100-meter butterfly swimming final, the women's 100-meter track and field race, and the women's gymnastics vault final. That'll be tomorrow night on NBC. On Netflix tomorrow, stand-up special from Joe Rogan called Burn the Boats.
I'm going to tell you something about me, Joe Rogan, that you might not know. I smoke rocks.
I don't know if he'll show up. I doubt it. Dave Chappelle. Why would he? Sunday on NBC, primetime Olympic coverage includes the men's gymnastics vault, the women's uneven bars, the men's 100-meter track and field race, the women's 800-meter race, and the swimming 4x100 relays. Miss USA 2024 on Sunday on the C-Dub.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
Personally, I believe.
I personally believe.
Oh, there it is, Shaw. I don't think she's involved in the Miss USA pageant, but that'll be on Sunday night on the C-Dub if you want to check that out. Sunday night on HBO, second season finale of The House of the Dragon, and on Paramount Plus on Sunday, the third season finale of Mayor of Kingstown. I've heard really good things about that show.
Yeah?
I think that's Jeremy Renner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. New music this weekend from Jack White. He's got his 6th solo album in stores today called No Name. Smashing Pumpkins releasing their 13th album today called Agori Mayori May?
What?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Just not very well English, apparently. And the Los Lonely Boys dropping a 9th album called Resurrection. That's what's new for music. And if you want to go to the theaters and sit in the air conditioning this weekend, Harold and the Purple Crayon, rated PG. Adaptation of the classic book from 1955 stars Zachary Levi as Harold. Has a magic purple crayon, can make anything he draws come to life, and now that he's grown up, he uses it to leave his storybook and then visit the real world. Alfred Molina is the narrator. Lil Ray Howery is Harold's traveling companion, and Zoe Deschanel is a single mom whose son befriends Harold. Also, rated PG-13 in theaters this weekend, Trap. Josh Hartnett plays a serial killer.
Looks scary.
It's written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, so it kind of stays in his wheelhouse.
It sure does.
So he's a serial killer trying to bond with his teenage daughter at a concert. Once he realizes that the cops are using it as an elaborate trap for him, he stirs up some chaos while trying to figure out a way to escape and get away with at least one more kill. So that's what's in theaters this weekend and on TV and new music. I'm going to be in the theater tonight watching 2 Arnold films back to back.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper! It's going to be great. Predator and The Running Man back to back, Shaw.
Nice.
Tonight at the Rivoli Theater. Arnold's birthday bash. Turned 77 earlier this week, and we're celebrating by watching 2 Arnold movies back to back.
I was surprised one of them wasn't Terminator. Although I suppose people have seen that one so many times. So.
Yeah. It's hard, right? Because there's, I don't know, if you look at his entire catalog, there's probably a dozen films that you could say belong in the top 3, right?
Sure.
But how do you rank them? Like you said, maybe you've seen Terminator so many times, you're like, I'm good. I haven't really seen Predator. I mean, I've seen them all a lot. I watch them on a regular basis, obviously, but yeah. Looking forward to it, though, Shaw. Predator and Running Man tonight. You want to join me? You want to go?
Hopefully the air conditioning is working properly.
They, I think, just got their HVAC taken care of. I know that the last time we were there, they had a big, huge, giant, like, this thing.
Fan?
No, it was like a huge dehumidifier / air conditioning unit that they had sort of in the walkway over by a section of the theater that wasn't getting used, and then they had it vented out the back door. So it's almost like a windowless AC unit that you see, but it was massive. Huge, like the size of a Toyota. Yeah, huge. I don't know, but they did tell me they were working on the HVAC in the entire building, trying to get it updated and fixed, so we'll see. 3-way now with Shaw in the newsroom. What else going on?
A murder trial will be scheduled for Zachary Fritz of La Crosse, accused of killing his wife this past June. Yesterday, Fritz pleaded not guilty to a first-degree homicide charge. Sheriff's investigator Fritz Leinfelder testified in court about going to the crime scene.
When I entered the residence, Mr. Fritz was sitting on the floor of what I would call the living room area, shirtless with a pair of shorts on. He had blood on his chest, hands, legs, and on his shorts.
Mrs. Fritz reportedly was stabbed more than 50 times with multiple wounds to the head and neck. Zachary Fritz has a hearing scheduled in November. He may be allowed to change his plea to not guilty by reason of mental disease. The EPA is issuing an emergency fuel waiver to help alleviate shortages in 4 states whose gasoline supplies have been impacted by the shutdown of an ExxonMobil refinery in Illinois. ExxonMobil shut down its refinery in Joliet last month after a power outage when tornadoes and severe storms swept through the region. The power has been restored, but it can take weeks to restart the refinery, which can produce about 9 million gallons of gasoline and diesel fuel per day. The waiver for Illinois, Indiana, Chicago, Michigan, and Wisconsin will continue through August 20th. Gas prices in the 4 states spiked after the storms and all have gasoline that costs more than $3.45 a gallon, according to AAA. If you've attended school fairs where kids show off their classroom science projects, college students do the same thing, but at a much higher level. Students at UW La Crosse put results of their own summer science research on display at a campus event yesterday. The Summer Research Symposium highlighted the work of nearly 40 UWL students in psychology, exercise, and a broad range of sciences. Assistant Dean Whitney George from the College of Science and Health says the visual displays designed by students called attention to research at a variety of levels.
You know, they're delving into research, both undergraduate and graduate, with a mentor, oftentimes coming up with original results that will be published. So it's a good starting place. Some of these students are brand new to research, and some of these students have been doing research for multiple years.
One display at the event described research on how PFAS chemicals can disrupt the immune systems of fish. Another described research into the effect sugary drinks can have on your body after you exercise. Simone Biles edged Rebecca Andrade of Brazil during a tense all-around gymnastics final yesterday to become a two-time Olympic champion. It's one of the closest calls Biles has ever endured in a major international event. Still, the meet ended just like all the ones Biles has started and finished over the last 11 years, with hugs and gold on the way. Biles now has 9 Olympic medals, 6 of them gold. And while she says she doesn't keep track of these things, she sort of does. The goat necklace she rocked in the aftermath is not a coincidence, even if she maintains she's just Simone Biles from Spring, Texas.
Kevin texted in and said, "Thank you, Shaw. That explains why gas jumped 20 cents overnight." The gas refinery thing.
Yeah.
It had dropped by a nickel yesterday.
I saw that.
And it went up again.
Yeah, the story, obviously Simone Biles, very successful. The U.S. had a great day, Olympic gold medal-wise, but the story out of the Olympics yesterday is this whole boxing thing, Shaw.
I was trying to wrap my head around all of the pieces of it this morning exactly.
So there's a female boxer, I don't know, you probably saw this story, who quit the match 46 seconds into the match against an opponent. Angela Carini of Italy stopped fighting after taking just a couple of shots from Algeria's Amani Khalif, I think is how you say that. Went to her corner in tears, yelled, "This is unjust," ripped off her headgear, threw it on the mat. She also refused to shake Khalif's hand afterwards. She did tell reporters after the match was over, quote, "I've never taken a punch like that. It's impossible to continue. I'm nobody to say it's illegal." Khalif has always competed as a woman, including during the Tokyo Olympics back in 2021. She, however, was barred from the World Championships in 2023 after failing gender eligibility tests. Taiwan's Lin Yu Ting apparently was also disqualified from those World Championships, but is also competing this summer in Paris. The International Olympic Committee defending their choice to let them compete. An IOC spokesman said Khalif is legally female and not a transgender athlete. The results of the tests that disqualified the two boxers from the World Championships back in 2023 are confidential, but it was reported that they had XY chromosomes, which is typically for males. Of course, a lot of people coming out afterwards, J.K. Rowling, Jake Paul, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, everybody coming out and having something to say about that. But that was the big controversy yesterday, was the whole boxing thing between the Algerian boxer Amani Khalif and the Italian boxer Angela Carini. So,
who apparently was in tears and
very distraught. And you work your entire life to get to the Olympics, and you think you have a chance, and then she took 2 punches and said, "There's no way I could." And she was in fear of her life, that she was going to get killed in there.
Worked hard for this moment to have it end so quickly.
Yeah, and apologized to her country, and I can't even imagine the distress she must feel having to quit that quickly into the match. But that was the big news out of the Olympics yesterday. If you weren't on social media, it was everywhere. Puddle of Mud now.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Puddle of Mud with She Hates Me. Doc is going to join us at about 8:25 to talk racing, even though there's no NASCAR this weekend. They took a, 2-week break, I believe, for the Olympics.
Makes sense.
So should be back next week, but we'll still talk racing with Doc. There's short track stuff happening in our area, as a lot of the tracks trying to make up for the very rainy May and June that we had. Yeah.
With early start to the season.
Yeah. Today looks like it's going to be up near 90 throughout the area. Mostly clear, maybe a couple of clouds.
Warm and sticky today.
Yeah, then tomorrow, kind of the same. Lots of sun with a high of 90. Possibility of some showers and thunderstorms on Sunday with a high in the mid-80s, and then dropping right down into the mid to low 70s all next week. I mean, I'm looking at temps 72 on Monday, 75 in the middle of the week. So
mid-70s.
Going to be much more manageable next week temperature-wise. We've got the Beastie Boys in a couple of minutes. And, of course, if you need something, get in touch with us. rockmornings.com for all our contact info.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Beastie Boys fighting for your right to partay. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. What's your cat's name?
I have two.
Names? Tiny?
Tiny's the old boy. 14, 15.
Is that the one you found in the canoe?
Found a litter. She had a litter, like kind of in the weeds. And then we, transferred him in a box and found homes for all the other kittens and mama cat and kept Tiny.
Okay.
And then Ruth is just a couple years old.
Okay.
I got her from the Humane Society.
There's a animal rescue in Tennessee that just posted photos of a kitten that was born with not one, not two, not three, but 4 ears. He's totally healthy. Happens to have 2 normal ears.
Yeah, and that little 2 baby
with
ears.
Another set of
nubbers.
smaller ones inside of the ears. So, remember the double vagina girl that we talked to years ago?
Like
the girl
an ear and an ear?
Yeah. They say he is simply irresistible.
Of course.
And will go up for adoption soon. I doubt they'll have any trouble finding someone to take him. They nicknamed him Audio because he has built-in surround sound speakers. Audio the kitten in Tennessee. Probably going to have a very good life.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And it's hard to believe, but this year, 2024, excuse me, is the 10th anniversary of the Ice Bucket Challenge.
That makes sense.
10 years ago, in August, we were dumping buckets of ice water on our head, trying to raise money for research and funding for a cure for ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, right? And we did one here at the station. Our friends at in Royal Bliss, we challenged them to do one, and they made an all-timer. Neil and
the video?
Yeah, in the hot tub. That was in Chicago, I believe. They're friends in Chicago. And, there was Khalees with milkshake in the video and all that stuff. And
swimsuits. And
yeah, Neil was wearing an Olympic-style swimsuit. That's for sure. But, yeah, the Ice Bucket Challenge turns 10 years old this month. It launched in August of 2014, raised over $220 million in the past decade to help find a cure for ALS. The guy who started it, Pete Frates, lost his battle with ALS back in 2019, and his family is trying to relaunch the challenge in full force this month as the 10th anniversary rolls on to raise more money for ALS research. And then they just did a big event at Fenway Park in Boston. I saw some of the videos and highlights of it, and it's pretty cool. So good to see. Good. So you may see more people doing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge again this month as it celebrates its 10th anniversary.
I remember that well.
Yeah. Weren't we in the parking lot throwing ice water at each other?
We did ours here in the parking lot, but we did it was outdoor movie night that summer, and we did one in our alley with probably 25 kids all at the same time, and it was great. So much screaming.
A lot of screaming.
Lots of screaming.
ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, 10 years old, August 2024. Crazy. More from Shaw in a bit, plus some Stained and Disturbed coming up.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
This year, don't give her gold or diamonds. Say I love you with a pound of fresh, aromatic coffee. Imagine the rich, velvety taste of beans grown in the highlands of Mexico, like the rarest of jewels. These beans are nurtured by hand, carefully harvested, and expertly roasted to perfection. With climate changes and fewer farms, this precious, limited resource will be available for a short time. So why not give her something truly special? Because sometimes a much-needed cup of caffeine is worth more than diamonds.
Kind of like fast food becoming a luxury item, it sounds like coffee. Now, granted, coffee, $8 a cup, has been a luxury item for a number of years. Mm-hmm. But even just regular-ass coffee now.
A can of Folgers is $10.
Is apparently starting to become a luxury item, Shaw. So maybe this Christmas, this holiday season, instead of diamonds, instead of a car.
It's always nice to get locally roasted or,
I'm willing to pay extra
coffee.
for good coffee from a local roaster, yeah, certainly.
Those are good gifts, Shaw.
Agreed.
I like gifts you're going to use more than gifts you're just like, The thought is nice. I appreciate the gift, but I want something that I'm going to use on a regular basis. Like, I got my wife a paper shredder one year.
And she loves it.
Loves it. And I love it because she no longer hangs on to receipts for 30 years. And when we first started dating, I found out she had receipts in her purse from like 8, 9, 10 years previous. I'm like, what are you saving that for? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, then get rid of it. Throw it away. She's like, I can't throw it away. I'm like, then shred it. Burn it. So I got her a shredder.
Good.
She shreds everything, man.
I do like
She shreds junk mail. I just tear it up and throw it in the recycling bin.
Who cares?
Because it's junk mail, right? Everybody gets it. But she thinks there's some kind of like hidden code in there that's going to give someone all of our information. And I can see that developing into something later on in life, which her parents have really a real bad case of. The whole let's not put our information on the internet type stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. But my wife's got a slight tinge of that right now with the keeping of the receipts and the worrying about junk mail. It's like, someone could get our information. What information? What, where we live? The mail already came here. They know where we are. Yeah. Your wife like that at all, Shaw?
No.
No? No? None of that in your house either, Gene?
No.
Yeah.
Just you.
My cross to bear. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What's going on?
A final pretrial hearing is planned today for a lacrosse man whose original triple murder trial last year ended with a hung jury. Nia Tao was tried in June of 2023 for the shooting deaths of 3 men at a quarry near West Salem, reportedly over a debt of $600. The murders happened 3 years ago. Tao's trial could last about 2 weeks. Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign has announced raising $310 million last month. That's an eye-popping sum, showing that donors who once seemed spooked about the prospects for November's election with President Joe Biden are now offering mountains of cash to boost Harris. The haul by Harris, the Democratic National Committee, and affiliated entities far outpaced that of Republican former President Donald Trump. Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and the Scarecrow are all coming back to Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. That city's getting its Wizard of Oz Plaza ready for a celebration of the movie later this month. Oconomowoc will host a special screening of The Wizard of Oz on August 15th to commemorate the 85th anniversary of the film's first showing in the U.S., which happened in Oconomowoc. The statues of the characters were taken down and spruced up in anticipation of the celebration. Just in time for the Wisconsin State Fair, Governor Tony Evers has proclaimed August 10th as Cream Puff Day in celebration of the 100th anniversary of the original Cream Puff. The original Cream Puff debuted in 1924 at the request of former Governor John Blaine as a way to showcase Wisconsin's dairy industry. In celebration, the Wisconsin State Fair will see 4 new limited edition flavors available for the first 1,924 fairgoers on select days.
Like chocolate?
Yes. This year's specialty flavors include root beer float, raspberry, cheesecake, English toffee, and chocolate birthday cake. And move over green and gold. The Packers' new color is white. Green Bay unveiled its new whiteout uniforms yesterday. White pants, a white jersey, and a new white helmet. The G on the helmet is now just a green outline. There's no yellow on the helmet at all. Green Bay will wear its white on white combo in October when they play the Houston Texans.
Kind of like the Jets, right? The color rush uniforms that the Jets used to have. And it confused people that didn't have color televisions or were colorblind, right? Wasn't that the deal? They couldn't tell which team was which?
Hey, where are the white women at?
They're wearing the white outfit.
That's why.
That's what they're doing, Shaw.
Since I joined these men, I have seen shit that'll turn you white.
White.
White, Shaw.
They're kind of slick looking. I like them.
Yeah. When are they going to wear them?
Against the Texans in October.
Okay.
Really, listen to me. What? White men can't jump.
Some of those guys can jump, right?
Did you watch any of the game last night, Shaw?
Which?
Or the football game?
Oh, a few minutes here and there, yeah.
There are white folks, and then there are ignorant mother like you.
The game ended up getting called early because of rain, but
Yeah.
Bears ended up on top in a completely meaningless game.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes to go in the third. They stopped because of rain after a, half-hour delay. Rippon threw, 3 touchdowns?
3 touchdown passes, yeah. Their backup quarterback.
That's impressive, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody wants to see what Caleb Williams will do, of course, but
we're not going to find out until week 1, right?
Probably.
Yeah, they usually play him in the second game, right?
We'll see. I mean, I think everybody wants to see what he can do. Number 1 overall draft pick.
So we got Drake May, the Patriots.
Yeah.
They picked up Drake May, and Of course, I listen to Boston Sports Talk Radio every day.
Are they crucifying him?
They're not happy with where he's at right now. Yeah. Obviously, it's only been a week since training camp started, but they brought in, what's his nuts? Jacoby Brissett to be the starting quarterback, veteran, lifelong backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. He did start several games last season. He's an okay guy, right? Like, agreed. He'll be okay. You know what you got with him, right? At least that's kind of
okay.
But they were hoping, I think, that you take a quarterback with the 3rd overall pick. The guy's going to come in and catch on real fast and might end up being your week 1 starter. Well, they also picked up this guy named Joe Milton, who's apparently like a freak when it comes to physical specimen. Like, he's a physical freak. And the guy does like somersaults and backflips and stuff during practice, and they're just killing him. They're just making so much fun of this guy. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, he completes a pass or he gets excited and he's got
a gymnast.
Are you going to do that in a game? Like, are we going to have a situation here where we got the flipping quarterback? He's flipping right after he threw a touchdown. That's his move. He does a backsault or a somersault or something like that.
Who cares if he makes the flat pass happen?
But apparently he's a behemoth. He's very yoked, and he's also got this whole backflip thing that he does. So, does your guy do any of that stuff, Sean?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know. We haven't seen him yet.
All right. Packers, I think, next Saturday, right? The 10th?
10th.
Yeah, that's their first game.
At Cleveland. 3:30 start.
And then that game in Brazil on that Friday night, the 6th of September.
That's their season opener, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you go to wiscotrips.com right now, Packer bus trips are online already for the entire all of them. Yep, all 9 of them.
I was just looking at the winter white here.
Yeah, so if you go to wiscotrips.com, I know people ask me about that all year round. When are the Packer bus? Are you guys doing Yeah, we are, dude. Don't worry. We'll be doing them. It's May 3rd, all right? Relax. We don't even know who they're playing. But yeah, wiscotrips.com, Packer bus trips are up there now. If you want to take a bus to Lambeau, see the Packers. I don't think we're taking a bus to Brazil, are we?
No, I don't think we're taking anything.
That would be a bus. That would be a haul. We'd have to leave today. Get there by game time, right?
Be exciting, but no.
Disturbed coming up after Stains.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Disturbed with prayer. NFL kicking off last night with the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, I know. But still, for those of us that need the NFL in our lives, that need football,
it was important.
It was, certainly nice to see it on television. The preseason kicked off last night with a bunch of people that probably won't be in the NFL in the next couple of weeks. Bears over the Texans, 21-17. The Hall of Fame game stopped with about 3:30 left in the third quarter.
It was rain.
Rain called off after a 36-minute delay. Packers, by the way, begin their preseason next Saturday at the Browns, 3:25. Cleveland's about an 8-hour drive if you want to get there. I know, I just did it. Something like that. Or 12. Is it 12? Maybe 12. Ryan texted in and said, after listening to you guys talk about the new kickoff rules yesterday, I saw a video of it last night, and stupid as hell. Just get rid of the damn kickoff. The NFL clearly doesn't want it.
Yeah, that was a lot. When you were talking about all that stuff, that was a lot.
They
can't move.
They're phasing it out. These are the first steps to getting rid of kickoffs completely in the NFL.
Everybody's just got to be like...
I think they want to go with look, we'll flip a quarter, determine who has the ball first. We'll give you the ball at the 20-yard line or 25-yard line, then we start playing. Whatever. And I think that's probably how it's going to go, is that after a team scores a touchdown or a field goal and possession changes, then the other team will get the ball on their 20 or 25-yard line, is my guess, is eventually what they'll get to.
Okay. Doesn't that take out the whole special teams thing? And yeah.
The NFL, again, wants to go to 18 games. And if they're going to do that, they're going to have to make concessions about player safety and about adding players to the lineup, to the roster, all that stuff. So there's going to be a second bye week in there as well. So anything they can do to keep the players healthy, keep them on the field, which, look, for the most part, kickoffs they go through the end zone. The guy catches it, kneels in the end zone. It comes out to the 20, 25-yard line anyways. So what's the point of even continuing to do kickoffs if that's the case? It's the once in a blue moon that you see a guy take it out
the whole way, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, right. Gordon Hayward retiring from the NBA after 14 seasons, announced on social media yesterday. Said, today I am officially retiring from the game of basketball. It's been an incredible ride, and I'm so grateful to everyone who helped me achieve more than I ever imagined. Of course, missed that shot against Duke when he was with Butler. Would have been one of the greatest when you think of the greatest college basketball shots of all time, Christian Laettner's got to be up there at the top. And his shot when he was with Butler against Duke would have certainly been in the top 5 all time, but he missed it. But 14 years NFL in the NBA, though. Had a lot of injury problems, though, in the last couple of years. Speaking of injury problems, Angels center fielder Mike Trout suffering another meniscus tear in his surgically repaired left knee will not play for the remainder of this season. And the federal judge yesterday overturning that jury's $4.7 billion verdict in the class action lawsuit filed by Sunday Ticket subscribers against the NFL and granted judgment to the NFL. So my guess is somebody got some money in his pockets. Somebody from the NFL said, hey, here's a blank check. Tell us how much it takes.
So they said consumers get money, and then they said, no, you don't?
U.S. District Judge Philip Gutierrez ruled that the testimony of the 2 witnesses for the subscribers had flawed methodologies and should be excluded. Gutierrez wrote at the end of his 16-page ruling, quote, without the testimonies of Dr. Daniel Rasher and Dr. John Zona, no reasonable jury could have found class-wide injury or damages.
That was a quick turnaround.
There's going to be more. There's going to be a lot more. Guaranteed. There'll be a lot more. And not the first person to do it, but certainly one of the funnier ones. We talked about those sadly I didn't make the team videos.
Yes, the videos of some gymnasts that had poor performances and shared them on social with sadly I didn't make the team for the Olympics.
This is a mom on the gram who posted some videos or a video of herself trying some of the gymnastics.
Was she cleaning the house while she was doing it, sort of?
No. So she's got, it looks almost like couch cushions that she put on the floor in her kitchen, and she's wearing a black one-piece swimsuit, which is meant to look like a gymnast leotard. And she says, I feel like I could have done a backflip. I would also like to say they make it look so much easier than this. She's watching the Olympics on repeat. It's Breanne Allaire, BreanneAllarie, on the gram if you want to try to find her.
That's really good.
That was good. Gold. She's laughing and having fun the whole time, but she's, doing some of the moves. She's got a handstand thing that she does. She gets her arms out there. She's fixing her butt. She pulls the swim. She's trying to do some kind of spinning thing where she's on her foot. Here comes there's the scissor kick thing in the midair. Waving to the crowd. But yeah, there's a mom on the gram who's going viral now because she's trying to do some of these Olympic gymnast moves, and
I saw another one last night that was kind of doing that. Had a black leotard on too as well, but was doing it like while she was
cleaning,
regular house stuff, like trying to get dishes into the dishwasher, bent over and pet the dog at the same time, or she was cleaning the ceiling in the bathroom while she was standing on like a little balance beamy thing. And
we'll get to Scott Robert Shaw in just a bit for another 3-way plus some Fozzie.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Lucky Land Slots, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Rock Mornings, Brian, Gene, and Shaw. That, of course, Fozzie with Spotlight. Simone Biles in the spotlight. Not only with thousands of people watching, millions on television, but famous people watching as well. In the crowd yesterday for Simone Biles when she won her 6th gold medal, Kendall Jenner, Martha Stewart, Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Tony Hawk, Seth Rogen, Bill Gates. Those are just a few. I saw LeBron was showing up at a bunch of spots, too.
Well, he's there.
Well, he went in. I saw they had him at the women's 3-on-3 basketball. I think the women were playing in Spain, I think it was, and he was there.
Tom Cruise then he left. Tom Cruise.
So interesting. He just did and I read about this earlier this week. So apparently he's rappelling down the Eiffel Tower or something along those lines. He just filmed a crazy stunt that will also close out.
Yeah, I believe he skydives
off the Eiffel Tower?
I don't know. From what I understand, he lands at the Hollywood sign in California as kind of a handoff because they're hosting the next Olympics.
Oh, so they superimposed them?
I think he really did a stunt, though. I was going to try and find some more information.
Well, he did do a stunt, but I think it's so they did one here and then did one in Hollywood, and they mash them together so that it goes from France to L.A. for the Summer Olympics in 2028.
They say he's going to literally drop in when the Olympic flag is handed over to the host city, Los Angeles. Sources say that he will rappel down from the top of the Stade de France, Stade de France,
stadium, yep.
Land on the stadium field, then proceed to carry the Olympic flag.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Apparently, quote. I mean, just
a couple more things that are kind of funny and unique and different, not just about the medals and the competition, but Andy Murray, of course, tennis player, legendary tennis player.
Retiring now.
Career came to an end yesterday. He capped it off with one of the all-time greatest tweets. Did you see his tweet?
I did not.
Andy Murray, at Andy_Murray, tweeted yesterday after his match was over, never even liked tennis anyway. All-timer. And we've heard these stories before that a lot of the Olympians, right? I mean, we know Simone Biles has got money, right? She's getting paid. She's on the Wheaties box.
Endorsement deals,
right?
Sure.
Plenty of endorsements, got money.
Other people,
but there's a lot of other Olympians who don't have that opportunity,
right?
And they are making their own way. They're paying their own, and they're not getting paid for these things. I think they get if they win medals, they get a certain amount of money, right?
I don't know.
I think the countries do that. Different countries pay different amount. Anyways, let's be honest. Not all of these athletes that are at the Olympics
are training and all of the lifestyle that goes along with that.
Well, one of these Olympic athletes is discus thrower Veronica Fraley, Fraley. And if you want to Google her story, and I did this morning, it's amazing. All these stories are spectacular, Shaw. And the things these people go through and the things they have to overcome. Flavor Flav and Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian are now stepping up to pay the rent for U.S. discus thrower Veronica Fraley for the rest of this year. She didn't even have enough to cover this month, Shaw. Wow. She didn't have enough, and while she's competing in the Olympics for our country, right. You know what I mean, like representing our country, America, and she can't even pay her rent for August. And so Flav and the guy there's probably some other monetary stuff going on there. I mean, it doesn't sound like much when you think of how rich Flavor Flav and maybe this Reddit guy are. They probably have plenty of money to maybe cover her rent for the next couple of years.
Well, they're finishing out the year, though, so she doesn't have to worry about it.
But yeah, and maybe she'll end up in a better situation. But also, did you see Snoop's pin, the new pin? The Olympic pin?
Did not.
So the Olympic rings, right, all multicolored. Now there's a pin with Snoop blowing smoke rings, and they're all different colors. If you haven't seen it, give it a Google. It's great. And, of course, another viral moment from the Olympics was the gun guy.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
These gun dudes and gals are great.
They look like a hitman out there.
They got the goggles. Not this guy. I didn't realize you had to put your hand in your pocket. Is that part of the process?
I don't think you have to. I think he chose to. It's just an unusual way to do it.
So he's a silver medal winning shooter. His name is Yusuf Dikic, I think.
From Turkey, I believe.
From Turkey.
Have you ever fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah? No, I have not ever fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
Yesterday's Olympic darling because he didn't use any special equipment and kept his free hand in his pocket while he shot. Somebody tweeted out, no fancy lenses, no headphones, just vibes.
Guns. Lots of guns.
But yeah, this guy is the new viral darling at the Olympics because of his stance and his ability to shoot the gun and
swagger.
And a lot of them are wearing these weird goggles.
Well, they wear earphones, too, typically, to, shield the noise, but he doesn't.
No, he's just out there.
He's like Clint Eastwood out there.
Out there raw dogging it, Shaw.
His .45 Magnum.
Yeah.
Blow your head clean off.
I know what you're asking yourself.
By the way, he's 51 years old.
Yeah,
Said the guy, and was one of the most accomplished shooters in all of Europe. But this is his first time trying for this Olympic medal.
They got to get some of those guys, those country dudes with the big belt buckles and the cowboy 10-gallon hats that can throw quarters up in the air and then, they pull the gun out of the holster. They fire off 6 rounds and they shoot through that quarter and then they catch it. Then they put the gun back in the hole. They got to get those guys.
He wore just little tiny yellow earplugs.
Yeah,
a regular pair of glasses.
He doesn't need any special equipment. And last but not least, Shaw, the cheese girl.
Didn't see the cheese girl.
You don't know about the cheese girl?
I did see the cupcake kid.
Oh, cheese girl.
Kid,
Fill me in.
He's eating all the cupcakes.
3 years ago, Italian gymnast Giorgia Villa cruelly denied her first shot at Olympic glory when she injured her ankle less than 2 weeks before getting on the plane for Tokyo. So she had qualified. She was going.
Oh, man.
But she hurt herself and couldn't go. On Tuesday, earlier this week, the 21-year-old helped Italy to their first medal in artistic gymnastics since 1928, so it's been almost 100 years. She teamed up with 4 other girls on her team: Angela Andrioli, Alice D'Amato, Manila Esposito, and Elisa Iorio to win a historic silver behind the United States. And the Italian quintet have now become overnight celebrities back home, where they have been dubbed the Silver Fairies. But Villa's profile has transcended gymnastics because of her viral tweet showing off her endorsement deal with some Parmesan cheese.
Yep, I see that. The giant wheel.
Have you ever seen a wheel? Obviously,
I know what you mean, sure.
So she's holding one of these giant wheels in her leotard or in her gymnast outfit, and then she's doing the splits over like 3 or 4 of them as well. And she's got a really sweet endorsement deal with a Parmesan cheese company.
Oh, my God. What is that? What was that? Is that cheese? Have you eaten cheese? How much cheese have you eaten today? How much cheese is too much cheese? Any amount of cheese before a date is too much cheese. I had a lot of cheese. I had a block of cheese. Okay, just eat a block of cheese. I was very nervous. I started eating cheese, man. All right. Does that calm you down? Just don't breathe in her direction, okay? Whatever you do.
Does that calm you down?
There's over 20 sponsored posts on her social media channels featuring her with the wheels, blocks, and bite-sized packets of the hard cheese. 3 months before the Tokyo Olympics, she signed a sponsorship deal with the Parmigiano Reggiano Consortium, PRC, the association which oversees production and unites all producers of the cheese. Press release hailing the partnership as, quote, confirming how the combination of Parmigiano Reggiano and the world of sport is indissoluble, Jesus Christ, in terms of authenticity, quality, and energetic value, both in sporting activity and in correct nutrition. So
always together with my best friend, she said, as her arms are wrapped around the giant wheel of cheese.
She's also very easy on the eyes, FYI.
And cheese.
She's lovely, and she's got a big old block of Parmesan for you when you come home, Shaw. How about some of this then?
Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you for picking me up when I dropped it on the ground there.
She's good. It's good.
But yeah, partnered up with some cheese.
Well, she's Italian.
She's Italian. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's either that or spaghetti, right? Spaghetti?
It's the internet's new favorites all week long. From the here, hold my glasses while I pummel horse this up in your face.
Yeah, well, we had Bob the Cap Catcher. We had the Pommel Horse Kid. Mm-hmm. We got
Alona Meyer with the.
We got the rugby gal. Yep, we got the surfer photo. Now we got the cheese gymnast and the gun guy.
Wow, been a busy week for the Olympics.
We'll have to see what happens next week before they close it out on the 11th, Shaw. It's gonna be a wild couple of days. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else happening?
3 newly freed Americans are back on U.S. soil after a landmark prisoner exchange with Russia.
This is, sorry to interrupt, but this, no, I'm not. I just say that because you're required to. This isn't the guy. Remember when Brittany Griner? Yes. None of these
Paul
three.
Whelan is
Paul
the person
Whelan is the guy, right?
Yeah, he was released.
He was too?
Yes.
Okay.
Journalist Evan Gershkovich, corporate security executive Paul Whelan, and Alsu Kermasheva, a journalist who has dual U.S.-Russian citizenship, arrived at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland for a reunion with their families.
Well, Whelan's been there for years, right?
Yeah, I think they all have. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were there to greet them. They continued to a Texas military base for medical evaluations today. They were part of the biggest U.S.-Russian prisoner swap in post-Soviet history that in total set 24 people free. The trade follows years of negotiations, despite relations between Washington and Moscow being at their lowest point since the Cold War.
Who do we give up? Do we have to give up that
a murderer,
the mercenary guy? That guy?
Okay. That's one of them. Yep. A judge has refused to put on hold his ruling that allows disabled people in Wisconsin to be emailed absentee ballots at home in the November election. Republicans asked the judge to not enforce his ruling while their appeal is pending, but a judge in Dane County yesterday rejected their argument, saying putting his ruling on hold would inflict significant harm on both the disability rights advocates and the public interest. It will now be up to the state's appeals court to decide whether to pause the ruling before the November election. As the summer college semester is ending at UW La Crosse, many students got a chance this week to show off their work. A research symposium was held at the Student Union on campus yesterday. Visitors got to see displays about the research projects and speak with students about what they learned. While many of the projects were on scientific topics, some explored social science. Psychology major Sayla Hernandez studied systemic racism in the workplace and showed how a college in Georgia attempted to practice diversity without much success.
So they were trying to show diversity in their ads or catalog, as this one is. However, they just ended up reinforcing stereotypes and reflecting ongoing organizational power imbalances despite their efforts to diversify.
Other displays describe studies of plastic pollution in the Mississippi River and how light pollution at night can disturb the sleep patterns of butterflies. And former President Jimmy Carter will be honored next month and ahead of his 100th birthday with a musical gala at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. The September 17th event, Jimmy Carter 100, a celebration of song, will feature musicians from a range of genres as well as celebrity guests. Carter's birthday is October 1st. The 39th president, who served from 1977 to 1981, remains at his home in Georgia, where he's been receiving hospice care since February of last year. He was seen publicly at funeral services for former First Lady Rosalind Carter, who died in November, but those close to him say he remains in good spirits, sometimes receiving visitors, regularly watching Braves games on television, and still enjoying music. The program is expected to celebrate the Carter's work, advocating for human rights, public health, and democracy around the world.
Got a text from someone who said, "I'm here for Hot Moms on the Gram." I sent him a link to the video.
Yeah.
We were talking about another Olympic thing, Shaw. There's a mom, I don't know where she's based out of, but she's in a black one-piece swimsuit in her kitchen attempting to do some of the gymnast moves. And she does not have a gymnast body. I'll just say that. I'm not being demonstrative or criticizing. I'm just saying, compared to the girls that are out there doing the moves, she does not have one of those bodies.
That's why they're funny.
It's very funny to watch. And so I sent him the link, and I don't know if he went and checked it out yet. But.
I saw one, Shaw, where it was a regular mom doing regular house cleaning things, but only with exaggerated gymnast style to them, if you will.
A lot of flair.
Some flair, yeah.
A lot of flair. All right. Three-way with Shaw. We'll get back to him for one more, plus bad news, happy music. Doc's going to join us at 8:25 to talk racing. Right now it's Breaking Benjamin.
Rock Mornings on your rock station.
That, of course, Breaking Benjamin. I will not bow. Random city worker guy who texted in about Hot Moms on the Gram said, I mean, not bad.
Yeah. Not bad.
You would. You know you would. I give her an A for effort, too.
She's attempting to do the moves.
Get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com for all our contact info. We're going to talk racing with Doc here in just a bit. Another three-way with Shaw plus bad news, happy music. And, of course, big show. Tomorrow night, Copeland Park and Event Center. Gates open for early entry tickets at 4 o'clock. 4:30 is when the gates open for everybody else. Music starts right around 5:30. Tim Montana, then Candlebox, then Jerry Cantrell, then Bush. Go to CopelandEvents.com for more info. Save a few bucks, buy your tickets today, because the price goes up tomorrow, day of show.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Fuel with Hemorrhage. Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. They were at Copeland Park and Event Center not too long ago.
Last year? Was that last year?
Mm-hmm. We'll be there again on Saturday for Bush, Jerry Cantrell, Candlebox, and Tim Montana tomorrow. Details online at CopelandEvents.com. Our possible vice president, J.D. Vance.
It's his birthday today?
Is 40 years old today. Ohio Senator and quite possibly the next vice president of the United States of America. J.D. Vance, 40 years old today. Edward Furlong, 47, played John Connor, Terminator 2, the Liquid Terminator. Also returned to play John Connor again in Terminator Dark Fate. It's the time-jumping one, back and forth, different timelines, all that stuff. Another guy from the Terminator franchise, Sam Worthington, is 48 years old today. He played Jake Sully in the Avatar films. He was Marcus Wright in Terminator Salvation. Been in a whole bunch of other stuff, but Edward Furlong, 47, Sam Worthington, 48. Kevin Smith, the director, writer-director of Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, is 54 years young.
So I spent every day since then chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy. Butch Vig.
Yep.
Garbage. Super producer. Butch Vig, 69 years
Madison.
young. Madison.
Viroqua, too. Big ties to Viroqua.
I think he was born in Viroqua, but I think based out of Madison.
Yep.
Born on this day in 1939. Died in 2015. The director of A Nightmare on Elm Street. The first 4 Scream movies. Also the original versions of Last House on the Left and The Hills Have Eyes. Wes Craven. Born on this day in 1939.
His name is even spooky.
Yeah, it's synonymous with horror films. Wes Craven. Carol O'Connor, born on this day in 1924, died in 2001.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller
played Archie Bunker. In All in the Family.
Guys like us, we had it made.
Those were the days. Would have been 100 today. Also born on this day in 1951, died in 2011. His song, Thank You for Being a Friend.
Thank you.
Hit number 30 on the charts in 1978 and then eventually became the theme for the Golden Girls. Andrew Gold is the guy's name. Born on this day in 1951. August 2nd, 1876, 148 years ago. Where were you, Gene?
I was trying to get the power back on.
While you were trying to get the power on, along with every single human being that worked for XL Energy this morning. Wild Bill Hickok was shot in the head from behind and killed while playing poker at a saloon in Deadwood, South Dakota. He was holding pairs of aces and eights, which is now known at poker tables all around the world as the dead man's hand.
Ah.
Oh?
I didn't know that.
1923, Warren G. Harding became the 6th U.S. president to die in office. He died from a heart attack, was replaced by his VP, Calvin Coolidge. This was 101 years ago today. There have been 8 presidents to die in office, and 4 of those were assassinations. But not Warren G. Harding. Died of a heart attack. Also on August 2nd in 1985, a couple of movies in theaters right across the hall from each other. The first one, Anthony Michael Hall, Kelly LeBrock, a woman that they made in their bedroom with bras on their heads. Weird Science.
Okay. Drop and give me 20.
Kept his jeans on while he showered with her. Also in theaters on this day in 1985, right across the hall from Weird Science, was Fright Night.
Welcome to Fright Night.
Ooh, Chris Sarandon and Brewster. Yeah. 1989, 35 years ago today, the film Parenthood, starring Steve Martin, in theaters.
I am so sorry.
It's all right, honey. It was my fault. You just kind of took me by surprise.
So, how'd this happen?
Show him, honey.
Show him, honey.
So funny.
So funny.
Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Diane Lane, right? Or Diane Wiest is in that. Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Steve Martin, Mary Steenburgen.
Show him, honey.
Show him, honey. Even my ears are tense. 26 years ago today, 1998, ventriloquist Sherry Lewis died in L.A. at the age of 65. She had uterine cancer.
Hey, it's Lamb Chops, play along. It's fun to play around. It's fun things.
Lamb Chop. Remember Lamb Chop?
I do.
That was Sherry Lewis. Sherry. 2002, 22 years ago today, the movie Signs in theaters, starring Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix.
Swing away, Meryl. Meryl. Swing away.
I like the movie, but the premise of aliens coming to Earth to take over, not knowing that it's covered with water, and water is what kills them, is kind of dumb. You know what I mean? Like you're a superior species, right? You can travel through space, and you come to this planet to take over,
water,
strip us of our resources, and the only thing that can kill you is water. And you come to this planet where there's nothing but water.
A lot
it's
of
like
water.
A lot of water, bro.
It's a lot of water.
That part I had a problem. I think a lot of people did. Mm-hmm. And 8 years ago today, in 2016, David Huddleston died at the age of 85. He, of course, was the Big Lebowski.
Since you have failed to achieve even in the modest task which was your charge, since you have stolen my money, since you have unrepentantly betrayed my trust, I have no choice but to tell these bums to do whatever is necessary to recover their money from you, Jeffrey Lebowski.
Simpler times. There you go. Some stuff that happened on August 2nd, plus some birthdays. We'll get back to Shaw in just a couple minutes.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Final three-way of the day and of the week. What do we got? Oh, sorry. There we go. I got you. Sorry, I didn't have you up.
That's right. A lacrosse man accused of fatally stabbing his wife more than 50 times will be scheduled for trial. Zachary Fritz was arrested in June for the beating and stabbing death of his wife at their lacrosse home. Yesterday, sheriff's investigator Fritz Leinfelder testified at a court hearing that the victim was stabbed multiple times with a sharp object around the head and neck, and that Zachary Fritz had trouble recalling what had happened. Fritz pleads not guilty to one count of first-degree murder. Judge Elliot Levine has scheduled another hearing in that case for November. Much of La Crosse's Valley View Mall has been shut down to deal with a maintenance issue, which they have not specified. Signs announcing the closing of the main mall for maintenance were posted yesterday morning with a message for visitors to check Facebook to learn when the mall could reopen. There's no word yet when that will be. JCPenney, the Barnes & Noble bookstore, and the Hy-Vee supermarket are all still open for business. This week marks 44 years since Valley View opened along Highway 16. The Massachusetts governor, several sports stars, and dozens more dumped cold water on themselves to mark the 10th anniversary of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
We were just talking about that. 10 years.
That event's really gone quickly, hasn't it? That event yesterday at Fenway Park is part of an effort to renew interest in the viral social media campaign that raises money to find a cure for Lou Gehrig's disease. Pat Quinn and co-founder Pete Freites helped popularize the challenge. Both were diagnosed with ALS and have since died. When Quinn and Freites picked it up, the phenomenon exploded. Thousands of people participated in the viral trend, including celebrities, athletes, and politicians, and their online videos were viewed millions of times. Alona Marr is Team USA's rugby-playing social media sweetheart. A day after helping the U.S. win its first Olympic Rugby Sevens medal, she walked into the terrace of Team USA House carrying a sandwich with the bronze medal hanging around her neck.
Give me all of that.
Yeah, she uses her platform to promote body positivity as well as the sport she loves, all while insisting women who run, tackle, and throw stiff arms can still be feminine. She first shot to stardom 3 years ago by using her sense of humor to document the behind-the-scenes life of the Tokyo Olympics. She helped lead the U.S. to the bronze medal at the Paris Games with a heart-stopping finish in a 14-12 victory over Australia.
Yeah, she's really
something.
She is something.
And strong.
Yes. But also
Dude,
people...
Some of those rugby girls are scary strong.
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely.
Not just her, I mean...
And they're fearless.
Yes. That's a rough sport.
Yeah.
But I saw some emotional videos that she has on her account as well where, people are mean. And they're just,
always.
like that she's a man and she's manly and she's all this stuff. And she's like, just because I have broad shoulders and I'm strong and I've trained my entire life Doesn't mean I don't care about any of that other stuff, or that you can just say those.
She shot back to some of her critics saying, "Yeah, maybe I have a 30% body mass index, and maybe I weigh 200 pounds, but I have some Olympic medals, and you don't. So be quiet."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because the internet's mean.
She, by the way, has a nursing degree and a master's in business. So
what sucks is no matter how much she achieves in her life and what she accomplishes, like there's always going to be people out there that are just like, you look like a man, or you know what I mean? It's just like, and who the F are you?
Right.
And unfortunately that's never going to change. Not in our lifetime. I mean, maybe if the meteor hits and we wipe things out and we start fresh, maybe we'll figure it out then, Shaw, but I don't think it's ever going to. I mean, and the internet's made it so much worse.
But she's got a lot of
There's a lot of gals who are on, I've seen them on ESPN and some of these, these commentary shows talking about how they were in the Olympics in the 90s or whatever, and they said, I can't even imagine, how bad it would be and how I would feel going through my Olympic struggles and trials and tribulations trying to win gold and represent my country, and then you've got people
with social media,
just hating you for who you are, and it's like, ugh, gross. Des rocks now. I am the Lightning. We'll talk racing with Doc after this.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Des Rocks. We'll see them on September 14th at Copeland Park and Event Center, along with Highly Suspect and Dead Poet Society. Go to CopelandEvents.com for info and tickets on that show, and go there for tickets and info on the show tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Featuring Bush, Jerry Cantrell, Candlebox, and Tim Montana.
Still some seats available.
I don't know what happened, if Doc and I maybe cross wires or what, but...
Oh, the racing report? He's not...
He was, he normally calls in. I don't know, maybe he's out of service. I don't know where he's at, but I texted him, said call now, and haven't heard from him yet. Normally we talk racing with Doc at 8:25 on Fridays. I know that there's no NASCAR race this weekend, but there is, of course, local racing. I thought maybe we'd jump on that. Got an email from Tim. Said, good morning. In regards to your comments on the movie Signs.
Yes, Tim?
I agree with you somewhat, other than it could be said that the aliens do not have water, or at least not the same as ours, on their home planet. Therefore, they do not need it to survive. Being a presumably carbon-based life form, they could just die of old age and not have the knowledge that our water is harmful or deadly to them. Sorry for the long email. I'm just a sucker for fan theories. Have a great day and weekend. Yeah, superior alien race, right? They can fly through outer space. Maybe they can, travel very long distances. I don't know where their home planet is. They never make any mention of that in the movie. But they come to Earth for whatever reason. The assumption is that they came here to try and take over, right? Strip us of our resources. That's generally why aliens come to our planet. They want to enslave us or something like that. And they come to a planet where they can survive out in our air and all that crap. But the only thing that kills them is like something that covers 70% of the planet, and that's water. And it just seems like
they would know that. Like beep 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 beep.
Maybe
a lot of water. Beep
maybe
beep beep. Lot of water.
They would have,
They're carbon-based life forms, though. Tim says.
They've probably been to other planets before, right? We're maybe not the first stop on the tour. They've been other places. They've tried to figure out. I don't know.
Thanks for your theory, though.
Think of us as humans, though, right? Like, we kind of know at this point where we're at, what kills us, what we cannot survive in, right? We can't go to Mars and take the mask off. You got to have it on. You got to have the oxygen, right? You can't breathe in anything on. There's no atmosphere there.
Well, you have to suspend doubt that they would know about the water.
Do they not know it rains here, too? I mean, the water's coming from up and below. It's coming from everywhere. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. I wish it hadn't been water, If it was like motor oil, like
They couldn't anticipate that.
right. Antifreeze, right? It's deadly for pets. Maybe it's antifreeze. They figure out like, oh, he gets antifreeze and he dies. Oh. But water, it's like, I don't know, it's a very plentiful resource here. It's like everywhere, bro. All right. I don't know what happened to Doc. I guess we're not going to get a racing report today. That's fine. Maybe next week. We will get to bad news, happy music, however. I know that much because Shaw's still here, right?
He is still.
He didn't leave, did he?
He's here.
Okay. Thank you again, Tim, for the email. Bad news, happy music, and some Offspring coming up.
Rock mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man. Florida man. Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
A Friday edition of Bad News with Happy Music. What do we got?
Well, maybe this guy wasn't management material. A guy working at a McDonald's in Georgia started a massive dumpster fire when the business showed no signs of slowing down during his Sunday shift.
So he was tired of working too hard, and he said, I'm going to set the dumpster on fire, and that'll be it?
Yep. Joshua Darrell McGregor cleared the crowd of hungry customers at the Savannah, Georgia McDonald's by lighting a piece of cardboard on fire and tossing it into a dumpster, which contained more cardboard, and the flames quickly grew.
Yeah! Look what I have created! I have made fire!
The guy was apparently frustrated because the drive-thru was so crowded. The fire became so intense, the restaurant had to temporarily close down. Now, McGregor has been sentenced to 5 years in prison after pleading guilty to arson. There's little question he did it. He was seen starting the fire on the McDonald's surveillance video footage. At the time, he was training to be a manager of the store. Now, he will have substantial time to ponder his post-prison employment options.
Maybe he can become a manager at Burger King.
Maybe.
Or Wendy's. Or Chick-fil-A. Or Five Guys.
I don't
or
think
something
he-
else.
yeah,
No, not managed.
Can't
Maybe
say
they
he-
can work on that right away. First thing out the gate. We're not going to worry about customer service or cleaning the ice cream machine. We're going to worry about how to deal with stress when there's a lot of people in the line. Right?
Well, he just wanted to go
He
home.
snapped.
It's Sunday.
Step one, we do not light cardboard on fire.
Exactly. A housekeeper at a Las Vegas resort is accused of mass theft from guests, including large sums of money and personal items taken from hotel rooms. She was caught while wearing one of the victim's bracelets. Maria Menendez Betancourt is facing theft and burglary charges for multiple incidents at the Venetian resort. Authorities were contacted after a guest there reported that her room had been burglarized and that there was more than $8,000 missing. Police reviewed surveillance footage. They caught Menendez Betancourt entering the room while the guest was gone, even though she was not assigned to that particular floor and had no real reason to be there. They say she went into multiple rooms on multiple floors during a 90-minute period without any work or cleaning supplies. Shortly after, another guest notified management to say $110,000 in cash and checks disappeared while he was out of the room. She discovered the items, concealed them in white bath towels. The police took her into custody and noted she was wearing a gold bracelet at the time that she had stolen in an earlier incident.
Remember what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Except for herpes. That it'll come back with you.
Remember that show.
Good advice, yeah. This guy, you would love to have a beer with this guy. His name is Spanky Spangler, and he is a professional daredevil.
Okay.
And in Montana, the Silver Bow County Fair is returning with rodeos, 4-H, live music, and the return of this famous daredevil performing his final death-defying stunt. Spangler is returning to his second home where he's done many stunts during the Evel Knievel Days events. Now, at the age of 76, he plans to do a free fall for his last stunt, something 8 or 9 stories, nothing big, he says. He made his first fall in Butte in 2002 when he jumped while on fire from a hotel, a memorable and spectacular stunt, according to witnesses. He will jump tonight in his final performance.
That'll be it for Spanky
Spangler.
Hanging it up.
Yep. Well, 76, pretty good run. For the last 30 years, a group called Our Next Generation has worked around the clock to empower children in the Milwaukee community through academic enrichment. This local nonprofit helps support students from the first grade through the 12th. Nearly 4 years ago, the people who run this got a call inquiring about adding goats to their organization to help teach kids about urban farming and ecology.
Love the goats.
There were 7 goats living in the backyard of the nonprofit building, including multiple bottle babies, ones that rely on the students for their nutrients.
Yeah.
But the other day, the woman got a call that was disturbing. Some of her goats were missing. They say somebody pried open a part of their enclosure and created an opening, luring them out with white bread. They say there were remnants of that loaf of bread there.
They stole their goats?
Somebody did.
Or set them free?
No, they stole them. Police were recently able to retrieve 2 of the 4, but are still on the lookout for the remaining goats. They say one of them was actually found in an abandoned house in the attic. Someone else called and said some goats are roaming around, so police responded. They spotted 3 of them, but were only able to retrieve 1, and the other 2 are still on the loose.
Oh, that's so wimpy. Come on, give it all you got. Go!
Love that goat.
I love that goat. Yeah.
Love that goat. Was any of them painted with the number 4 on it?
No, there are no painting signs on them.
No? All right.
Unfortunately not.
Bring that one back. What about 12? Anybody put a 12 on them?
No.
No 12. The goat.
Somebody's stealing their their bottle-fed
I don't think they stole the babies, but still.
all the
And then put them in an attic in an abandoned house?
And then left, yeah. So it sounded almost like a prank, maybe some kids or something. I don't know.
Didn't Greg Brady steal the goat or
from the
keep it in
rival
his
football team? Their
keep it in his
mascot.
attic or something like that?
Uh-huh.
Bedroom is pretty
exactly. Maybe they were recreating that.
Maybe.
In Connecticut, when a guy named Joseph Ricardella saw the snake in the road, he stopped his car and tried to help it avoid getting run over. The attempted good deed, however, landed him in a hospital in a medically induced coma.
You big dummy.
After this timber rattlesnake bit his hand when he tried to throw a shirt over it to pick it up. It's not
Leave
clear
the snake
exactly.
alone. The snake's not in danger, all right? The snake's doing just fine. You'll be all right.
It's not clear where this exactly happened because the man hasn't been able to speak in detail yet to family and friends. He went into cardiac arrest, had to be resuscitated, and was later placed into a medically induced coma. Doctors brought him out of that coma earlier this week, but he remained intubated and sedated because of the swelling from the venom. This timber rattler is one of 2 venomous snakes found in Connecticut, but is said to be extremely rare.
I have had it with these snakes on this plane.
I get you, man. I get you.
Dude, I'm not stopping for snakes or pigeons or...
helping it off the road?
No, I'm not stopping for anything.
It can slither away, can it, on its own?
Right? Yeah.
And if it gets squished, I'm sorry, bud.
Sorry,
place,
Mr. Gerbil,
time.
Mr. Hamster, Mr. Squirrel, whatever. Like, my wife freaks out about that. I'm like, there's plenty of squirrels in the woods.
Well, I wouldn't purposefully.
No, I'm not aiming for them, but look, I'm not going to swerve and I'm not stopping to help out the snake.
And I'm not throwing a shirt over
He's
to
on
pick
his
it
own
up.
to get across that road.
Yeah, that's on you, buddy.
And here's a story that makes you realize that your family is not that dysfunctional. Cops in South Carolina had to respond to a family brawl that involved a gun, a knife, a broom, a can of bug spray, and a piece of poorly cooked chicken. 27-year-old Anthony Harper was cooking some chicken when his 25-year-old sister, Hope Harper, asked why he didn't season it so it could crust up.
Yeah, why didn't you?
He told her, I know how to cook, and said, quote, Grammy was going to season the kitchen.
Well, I don't think
so
you do know
brother
how
and
to
sister and Grammy in the same house?
Yes.
All right, I'm trying to get the fan, because you said all these people had different weapons.
Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out who's in the fight club. So we got brother, sister, Granny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she, the sister, called her brother a dumb dog, which prompted Anthony to shove her into a kitchen table and punch her in the face.
Sounds like Donut's house when I was growing up.
Then someone else in the home walked in and fired a handgun into the ceiling.
Not Granny.
To try to break it up. But that didn't work.
Then there's unknown. We'll put that under Granny.
Yeah, then the sister grabbed a steak knife, started chasing her brother through the house.
Yeah.
Knife.
She finally stopped when Grammy started swatting her with a broom.
So I've got the sister with the knife in the
Grammy's
library.
got the broom, yeah.
Grammy's got the broom. Unknown has the gun.
Unknown's got the gun?
Who's got the bug spray?
We're getting to that.
Okay.
It still wasn't over. Anthony grabbed a can of Raid.
That's the brother.
And started spraying his sister in the face with it.
In the face.
Then she snagged it from him and sprayed him back.
Oh, my.
Someone
How'd she
finally
do
called the
that?
cops. The 2 siblings both said they wanted to press charges, so both got arrested, and they're each facing charges for assault
Who's
and
the
battery.
unknown with the gun?
I don't
What
know.
happened to him?
I missed that part.
It's like a game. It's like a game of Clue.
It is.
I got Mr. Mustard in the library with the candlestick holder.
First rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club is You do not talk about Fight Club.
That's
Should
a
be clear.
Benny Hill music. Is what that
Exactly,
That
is what we
nuts.
need. Yakety sack.
Because the chicken wasn't seasoned.
That's how it all started.
The chicken wasn't seasoned, so
She wanted it to crust up.
People take their chicken seriously.
there's a
There
punch
we go.
that happened, and then there's an unknown with a gun that walks in and fires
fired
the
it
gun.
into the ceiling,
And
which
then
is, smart thing to do.
Granny gets the broom. She comes in the kitchen. Come on now, you two. And then he grabs the bug spray,
Yep.
sprays her in the face. She somehow manages to get past
Sprays
the
it
bug
back.
in her face and then grab the can from him and then spray him.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And then the cops were called. Did anybody eat the unseasoned chicken?
I don't think the chicken ever got eaten. I don't even know if it got cooked.
Should have let Granny cook that chicken.
Right.
That she'd cook it right.
Wow.
Was there anyone in bikinis trailing behind? No.
On tricycles?
No, none of that. Midgets, was there any
Gosh.
little people?
Wow.
None of that? Okay.
That's a fun house, huh?
Can you imagine what Christmas is like?
Oh, man.
This is just a regular Thursday in the middle of August.
Some dry chicken. That's all this was about.
It wasn't dry. It was half done. It wasn't cooked right.
It doesn't,
What is it with people and chicken?
Right?
wasn't seasoned, Shaw.
That's how it started.
Bland. Blah.
So put some barbecue sauce on it or something. Christmas. I thought my family was messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Never had an incident like that.
They should get their own places, probably.
We got to put them on TV, not Haktua Girl. That's more interesting. I want to see that on
That's more
television.
interesting than the wives of blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
or whatever
pick
the
your
hell
county.
it is.
Bad news, happy music.
Those people.
Friday edition. Thank you, Shaw.
Yep.
Have a great weekend.
You too, guys.
Talk to you on Monday. Are you out at all next week? I know. Aren't
no.
you going somewhere? Aren't you taking a
That's September.
anniversary?
Like late
That's
September.
September, yeah. No, I'm
Okay.
here all week next week.
All right. All right. We'll get to our daily check-ins after the Smashing Pumpkins. It's 1979.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call,
Hello?
email,
I tried emailing you.
text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com is our contact info. If you want to get in touch with us. I got a text from my guy, Autumn. Said that Kyle from the Helm, rest in peace, Helm Doggy, went to school with Butch Vig, different grades.
Yeah, Viroqua. Grew up there, I believe, and then in Madison, obviously, and comes back and plays shows and has a lot of ties to that community.
Thank you, Autumn. Appreciate that. My sort of friend Liz sent me a message about getting some tickets for tomorrow night. I said, how many times do I have to tell you that I cannot help you if you wait until the last minute?
How many times do you
Look,
have
I
to
get
say?
it. I'm the radio guy. Everybody thinks they know who I am. That's
Wait till
great.
the
I go
last
out.
minute.
If you wait till the last minute, the day before the show, I cannot help your stupid ass out. I will tell you that every single time. If you ask me with a week to go, I could probably do something. Maybe. But if you ask me the day before or even 2 days before the show, it's unlikely
the
that I
morning
can help
of,
you.
for instance, not tomorrow either.
And I have told this person that several times.
Obviously.
Because she asks me all the time for tickets.
At the last minute.
Like I'm some kind of vending machine. Aaron said, wonder if they got paid extra for the cheese she did the splits on, LOL.
I think that's great. Well, they have to have sponsors to pay for all the stuff they need.
We just heard about
And
Flavor
she-
Flav and the guy from Reddit had to pay that gal's mortgage or
So
rent.
if she embraces her cheese, then have
Go for
at it.
Tim, again, with the email earlier about the movie Signs. I said, I responded to him and I said, you think the aliens would be advanced enough to know that water can kill them?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Again, they're so advanced they can fly through space and come to our planet.
And they didn't go, wow, that's a lot of water down there.
And like I said, we as humans know what can kill us, right? I'm sure there's plenty of stuff out there that can also kill us that we don't know about, right?
Stuff that attaches to your face and then smothers you.
I've seen movies. I know.
I've seen movies too.
But if I'm going to another planet, you know what I mean? Like, I'm probably going to check. Do they have things on there that can kill me?
Water's a big one for us.
Tim responded by saying, you would think so, but as the most advanced species on our planet, you would think we would all be smart enough not to eat Tide Pods. So you're telling me that the aliens in the movie Signs are just a bunch of millennials that said, hey, let's go mess with these people?
People didn't really eat Tide Pods.
Yes, they did.
Like 2.
That's enough.
That is not enough. It's too crazy.
That is enough. Courtney texted in, said, we saw a near crash when someone slammed on the brakes for a large snapping turtle, wasn't even in traffic. People do that all the time, and I can appreciate helping the turtles.
Me too.
However, at the cause of what? If you're going to slam on your brakes and cause a traffic accident?
Well, I wouldn't cause it. I would hope to not do that. But
Right.
yeah.
Try to be a little more efficient with that. Cheryl says, I move snakes off the road quite often. People are dicks and run them over on purpose.
That's what I mean.
I'm not helping a snake across the road. Snake can go F itself.
I'm probably not doing it either. I don't want it to be squished, but I'm definitely not grabbing a rattler with my shirt over it to try to get.
Bro, you hear that thing rattling at you?
Well, you can see it and hear it. No, thank you.
Leah, tell Liz I got 2 pit tickets for sale. Had something come up, can't go. Leah, first of all, Leah, I appreciate that. I'm sorry to hear you can't go to the show. Second of all, I'm not playing middleman. Third of all, Liz doesn't want to buy tickets. She wants free tickets. That's why she's asking me. So you're not getting a sale out of that, Leah. Trust me. The tickets are for sale on the website. She can go there and get them at CopelandEvents.com. She's trying to get in for free on my dime, and that's not happening. Got a text earlier from Ryan, said, after listening to you guys talk about the new kickoff rules yesterday, I saw the video of it last night. Stupid as hell. Just get rid of the kickoff. The NFL clearly doesn't want it. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? It's coming. They're going to get rid of it. I mean, they're phasing it out already, so just a matter of time. Thank you very much for all the correspondence. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll probably run into a lot of you guys over at Copeland Park and Event Center tomorrow night. Big show. Bush, Jerry Cantrell, Candlebox, Tim Montana. I know some of our listeners from Eau Claire are coming down on a bus, I believe, right? Going to party.
That's the idea.
Can't wait. Ugh. We'll talk to you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Lucky Land Slots, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.